A very good day to Dr. Kamaruddin and all my fellow friends. Today I'll be going to share the topic on roles of teacher in the curriculum implementation. So as you can see in the table of contents, we are going to look into the roles of teachers in the curriculum implementation, and the roles are teacher as an interpreter, teacher as a planner, teacher as an implementer. So first of all, what are the roles of teachers in the curriculum implementation? From what we all know, teachers are the ones who play the most important role in educating the younger generation of our nation. And becoming a teacher is not only to hold a profession that is highly honored and well respected, but it is to shape the future by educating children that will benefit our country. Teachers have big and significant influences on children by helping them to develop into great human beings in the future. The main responsibility of a teacher is to impart knowledge, develop skills, and shape the character of students. And based on our country's Ministry of Education, they also play a role as planners, managers, facilitators, mentors, administrators, innovators, and evaluators. Now we are going to look in detail on the roles of teacher in the curriculum implementation. So one of the roles is teacher as an interpreter. As we can see here, the main content of a school curriculum is the teaching materials. Without thoughtful lesson materials, the curriculum for students will be meaningless to them. So the selection of lesson materials to form an effective curriculum is a heavy and important task, and this task will be in the hands of a teacher. So these are the objectives of curriculum. Curriculum is to help students to master the Malay language, which is our national language, effectively. It is also to help them master basic skills in learning English, basic language skills in oral form and written form, and counting skills, which is mathematics, and also study skills. So the curriculum is also to cultivate noble attitudes, behaviors, and values based on the principles of Rukun Negara, such as respect, politeness, and patriotism. Next, it is also to build up students that are knowledgeable, understanding, and sensitive to the society issues. And the character of students who practice good cultural values in society, develop talent, potential leadership, and self-confidence in students. The objectives are about the syllabus, which is a lesson plan related to a particular subject and is officially prepared by the Center for Curriculum Development in the Ministry of Education, Malaysia. Next, we are going to look into teacher as a planner. Curriculum planning is the preparation of work plans on programs or activities which is prepared by teachers based on the syllabus which has been given by our Ministry of Education for a subject to be taught. And the main purpose of preparing work plans is for teachers to implement their teaching and learning programs based on the syllabus systematically and according to the appropriate levels. The planning usually includes annual work plans, term work plans, weekly work plans, and daily work plans. Now, let us look into detail into the annual work plan, weekly work plan, and the daily work plan. The annual work plan should be prepared based on the syllabus for the whole year. It should have important items such as syllabus reference numbers, objectives, and lesson titles. The weekly work plan should be prepared based on the term work plan, and it should record important matters such as levels, subjects, topics, skills, and applications of values. While the daily work plan should be prepared based on the weekly work plan. It needs to have the day, date, level, teaching time, content of the lessons and teaching, and also the learning activities. The lesson content should be selected based on the topics provided in the weekly work plan. And for the third role of teacher in the curriculum implementation is teachers as implementers. Before the implementation of the curriculum, there should be a planning for lessons ahead. First of all, teachers need to study and know the syllabus of a specific subject in depth. The skills and concepts should be fully mastered by the teacher before sharing it to the students. This is to ensure that the students will fully understand what the teacher teaches. Then teachers should then analyze the lesson material and then select, organize appropriate activities and examples to achieve the objective of the lesson. This is to ensure that the lessons that will be carried out for the students are suitable for them. Teachers can also select appropriate teaching aids to facilitate the achievement of lesson objectives such as PowerPoints, videos, flashcards, props, and many more. The allocation of time for the lesson should be divided appropriately so that each step of delivery can ensure the active involvement of students as well as conducting assessment and feedback. As for the components of preparation for teaching, it is divided into three phases, which is preparation, presentation, and conclusion. For preparation, it should include general details, past knowledge, skills, lesson objectives, cohesion, teaching resources, application of values, and thinking skills. For the phase of presentation, it should have an induction set and development that includes the progress, learning content, skills, teaching strategies, learning, value applications, and the use of resources. And here comes the part for conclusion. Teachers should include the type of conclusion, follow-up activities to ensure the students have mastered what they learned, the evaluation of lesson objectives, summary or conclusion, and the modifications. Alright, this is a detailed part for the preparation component. The first part of a teaching plan that covers things as general details, past knowledge, lesson objective, and many more. Before teaching, teachers should gather information so that the learning process can be more effective for the students. General details that includes aspects such as class determination, time, date, numbers of students, subjects, and subject topics. And the past knowledge enables teacher to determine lesson objectives, teaching and learning strategies, select appropriate material, and relate the knowledge in their teachings. Skills are also an important aspect in almost every subject that includes reading, writing, counting, and many more. They should be given priority in the syllabus for language and mathematics subjects. The lesson objectives are the goals that determine based on lesson skills so that students can master them after teaching and learning activities. This is the part for selection and evaluation of lesson contents. To achieve a lesson objective effectively, the content of the lesson should be selected based on the interests and abilities of students. We as teachers, we need to consider the levels and abilities of students so that we can carry out our lessons more effectively. The content of the lesson should be easy to understand and the level should not be too high or too difficult. Just like what I said just now, if the student is in grade 1, we should not use contents of lessons that are beyond their grades or their levels. So students will feel bored if the content level is too easy, uninteresting, or too challenging. When the content of the lesson have been improved in an appropriate order, then the teaching and learning activities can be implemented effectively. With the planned content of the lessons, students will be able to follow their lessons step by step until they fully achieve the objectives of the lesson. So this information is very important to enable teachers to select and provide appropriate teaching aids, enhance the content of the lesson, determine teaching and learning strategies based on their abilities. These are the things we need to take note in teaching measures and time allocation. As teachers, we need to implement the teaching and learning process smoothly, systematically, and according to the schedule. So the contents of the lessons should be selected and arranged according to the time period given. Teachers should then improve some steps that could be allocated for the content of the lesson to be delivered and the time period that should be used for each step. For example, the time period given is 30 minutes, so teachers should then plan out activities or lessons that are appropriate and suitable for this time period given. Next is identifying teaching learning strategies. So the teaching learning strategies can be divided into two groups, which is the involves and the conduct. The involve is the students who are involved, which you can choose for your lessons and your teachings. You can choose to involve the whole class, group, individual, discovery inquiry, project, practice, problem solving, and deductive methods. And as for conducts, you can conduct out activities, lecture, discussions among students, a session for Q&A, which is question and answer, demonstration, role play, social drama, and games to make the lessons more interesting and effective for the students. For the use of teaching learning resources, there are three types of resources that can be used in a teaching learning session. So the first one is reference materials such as syllabi, teaching handbooks, and resource books. This is for the teachers to gain more information on the topic that should be carried out for the students. Secondly, there are teaching materials such as teaching aids to be used by teachers while teaching. Teaching aids includes props, flashcards, PowerPoints, videos, and many more. This is to help the students to be interested in learning with the use of different types of materials in the learning session. And for the last one is the learning materials such as textbooks and tools used by pupils to carry out their learning activities. And for the last one, which is methods of modifying and evaluating. So the role of teacher refers to the act of making interpretations of the teaching and learning process. A session of inference making can be created, which includes cognitive inferences and social inferences. An assessment can be carried out through examination of students' work or through an oral or written test. This is to ensure that at the end of the lessons, students have mastered what they learn and they can use it in their daily lives. So that's all from me today. Thank you very much.